My child, stop everything. I need to contact you right now. This isn't random. This isn't background noise. This is your burning bush moment, your divine interruption, your unmistakable call from the throne room of heaven. I'm not whispering, I'm summoning. And if you walk away now, you will miss the very word your spirit has been groaning for in the secret place. Stay locked in from beginning to end, because every second of this message is surgical prophetic and laced with instructions for what's next. This is not entertainment. This is an encounter. What I'm about to say will confront you, comfort you, and commission you. And when it's over, you won't just be inspired. You will be marked. So don't flinch. Don't scroll. I've already started speaking, and what I reveal next will change everything. My beloved child, let your heart still itself in this moment, because I need you to feel me. Not just hear me. I have been calling you. Not with the noise of this world, not with lightning bolts or thundering skies, but with something far more intimate. The subtle weight that sits behind your sighs. The quiet ache that stirs when everything around you finally goes silent. That was me. Every time your thoughts paused and you felt something unexplainable, a sudden awareness of something more, a pulse so soft, yet persistent, it refused to let you go. That was not coincidence. That was my call. I've been whispering between your distractions, waiting not for your perfection, but for your attention. I didn't need the world to stop for me to get to you. I just needed your heart to pause long enough to feel me press in. I have never been far. I have never been absent. I didn't wait to speak because I had nothing to say. I waited until the noise around you collapsed into stillness, until your soul could begin to tell the difference between pressure and purpose. I have been calling not with a voice that demands, but with a presence that draws. And you felt it, haven't you? In the moments where you couldn't explain your tears. In the nights where sleep evaded you, but peace invited you instead. In those seconds, between distractions, when something inside you stirred, but you didn't know what it meant. That was me reaching for you. You see, I've never needed volume to prove my voice. I created the stars with a breath and stirred oceans with a word. But when it comes to you, I choose the kind of intimacy that whispers into your spirit without disturbing your surroundings. Because I care more about reaching your heart than impressing your ears, I've been calling you in ways only you would recognize. Through the tug in your gut when something didn't feel right. Through the sudden stillness that fell over you like a blanket in the middle of chaos. Through the hunger you couldn't name but couldn't ignore. That was my way of preparing the atmosphere. Not around you, but within you. And child, you responded, maybe not with words, maybe not even consciously, but your soul leaned in. Your spirit picked up what your mind couldn't articulate, and even in confusion you drew near. That's what I've been waiting for. Not a perfect response, just a yielded heart. Just the turning of your face toward the light. That was your answer to my call. And now we begin. This isn't the beginning of my voice, but it is the beginning of your awareness of it. What you once dismissed as restlessness was actually holy stirring. What you once called emotional was actually eternal. You didn't imagine me. You encountered me. And now I will speak more clearly than you've ever known before. Stay with me. Let me take you deeper. Because the call you've been feeling is not just a message, it's a movement, and you are at the center of it, my precious one. You have carried a restlessness lately that even you couldn't explain. A fire beneath your peace, a flicker behind your focus, a divine disturbance that wouldn't let you settle. Not in your old patterns, not in familiar places, not even in the things that used to satisfy. That wasn't random. That wasn't a mood swing or another passing emotion. That was me. It was I who stirred the waters beneath your calm. I who whispered through your weariness. I who pressed through the layers of your doubt with an invitation too holy to ignore. You felt it. The unshakable pull in your spirit that something greater was coming, that something was about to break. And you were right. I have been reaching not lightly, but deeply. Not occasionally, but relentlessly. I have been orchestrating the circumstances of your life to lead you here. Every delay, every door, every discomfort was designed not to destroy, but to direct. Because, child, what I am calling you into cannot be built on distraction. It must be birthed from divine awareness. There has been a pressure inside you that would not release. A sacred tension between what you know and what you feel is still hidden. I placed that pressure there not to burden you, but to prepare you. Because I always place the weight of my next move upon the shoulders of those who dare to believe before they understand. That's you. That's who you've become. A soul who senses me in the dark. A heart that leans forward even when the path is still blurry. That urgency you feel. That relentless spiritual rhythm thumping louder than the distractions around you. That is heaven's countdown inside your chest. You're not going crazy. You're not imagining the shift. You're standing at the edge of everything I've been preparing. And your spirit knows it even if your mind hasn't caught up. The timing of your ache is confirmation. The pressure is proof. I only stretch what I'm about to fill. And beloved, I am about to pour something into your life that will make every season of waiting seem like preparation for glory. You've been waking up differently, haven't you? The mornings feel heavier, the nights quieter. That's because you're closer than ever before to the sacred threshold I carved in eternity for you. Let me pull back the veil and show you something, child. Every time you paused and said, "Why do I feel like something is about to happen?" it was because I was whispering ahead of your arrival. The heavens respond to your hunger. The angels gather when your spirit begins to ache for more. And you stirred that realm with your obedience. You didn't even know it, but the tremble in your chest became a trumpet in the spirit. The urgency you've been feeling isn't pressure to perform. It's permission to proceed, to step out of the shell of survival and into the spaciousness of supernatural strategy. I didn't bring you here to tease you with possibilities. I brought you here because the divine door has already begun to crack open. Can you feel the breeze of breakthrough brushing past your doubts? Can you hear the hinges of heaven creaking with momentum? Accept this now. This holy unrest is not a curse. It's a calling, and you are not unworthy of it. You are chosen, called, and carved out for a purpose that now begins unfolding. Let the urgency in your chest become the anchor in your steps. Walk with me, and I will reveal what the pressure was protecting all along. You've been questioning yourself again, haven't you? Child, you've been wondering if the stirring was just your emotions spiraling, if the tears were just exhaustion, if the dreams were just fantasy. But hear me clearly now. That wasn't emotion. That wasn't anxiety. That was me. I was the pulse behind the panic. I was the stillness behind the storm. I was the voice behind the veil that refused to go silent no matter how loud your questions became. You are not losing your grip. You are finding your God. And I will not let you mislabel my presence again. I didn't come wrapped in thunder this time. I came cloaked in sensitivity. I arrived inside your weakness, not to judge, but to join you there. You thought it was nervous energy. I call it holy intensity. You assumed you were unraveling. I was actually unfolding you. There's a difference between panic and purpose. And what you've been carrying is not chaos. This is calling. Let me speak plainly so you don't miss this. The trembling that wakes you in the middle of the night. The inexplicable pressure to shift, to move, to prepare even when nothing around you seems to be changing. That's me. I place that signal inside your soul to override the lies that said you missed it, that you were too late, that you were passed over. Beloved, you haven't missed anything. What others call sensitivity, I call prophetic clarity. What others mistake for drama, I call divine download. You are not crazy. You are chosen. You are not overreacting. You are over-responding to a realm your eyes can't see, but your spirit fully remembers because you were with me before the foundations of the earth. You knew my voice before you knew your name. And what's happening now is not a breakdown. It's a reconnection. You're returning to the sound that formed you, the pull that birthed you, the presence that has been waiting patiently for you to stop questioning your discernment and start trusting my design. This is the moment, child, where you must stop downgrading divine sensitivity into psychological labels. Stop calling it worry when it's warfare. Stop calling it stress when it's strategy. Stop minimizing what I'm magnifying. The sensitivity you carry is sacred. It's how you hear me in the crowd. It's how you feel me in silence. It's how you know when others guess. And the reason you've been feeling more lately, more overwhelmed, more emotional, more on edge, is not because something is wrong with you. It's because the veil between dimensions has thinned and your soul is picking up what your logic cannot hold. That's me. I am drawing near with intention. I am wrapping my presence around you so tightly that your very atmosphere begins to shift. You are in the middle of a holy invasion, and I don't want you to run from it. I want you to recognize it, embrace it, respond to it. Because once you stop resisting the reality of my nearness, you'll begin to move in authority that leaves no room for confusion. My beloved, let me speak clearly so that every false expectation, every religious weight, and every self-imposed pressure falls from your shoulders like chains snapping in my light. I am not asking you to perform. I am not looking for perfect prayers, polished behavior, or rehearsed faith. I don't need your stage. I want your surrender. I'm not applauding your spiritual production. I'm longing for your permission, because what I'm about to do in your life does not require your performance. It requires your permission. Do you hear me? I do not need your best version. I desire your most honest one. The raw one, the broken one, the confused, exhausted, and questioning one. The one who feels like they have nothing left but a whisper of hope and a flicker of belief. That's the version of you I am calling. That's the version I am in love with, because I never anointed your image. I anointed your essence. There is a divine difference between impressing me and inviting me. Too long you've tried to keep yourself presentable, hiding the blemishes behind spiritual vocabulary, masking the mess with motion. But I'm not moved by movement. If your heart is missing, I'm not impressed by eloquence when your soul is aching. I am the God who meets in gardens, walks through wildernesses, and weeps beside tombs. I am the God who touches lepers before they are clean, who sits at wells with the shamed, who writes in the dirt while others throw stones. I am not after your performance, child. I am after your proximity. I want the real you, the unedited, unscripted, and uncertain. You. That's where my glory falls. That's where my miracles begin. That's where my voice thunders with precision. But I need you to give me permission to bypass the altar you've built out of perfectionism and walk straight into the sanctuary of your surrender. Let me in. Not just into your Sunday self, but into your silent Saturday sorrows. Not just into your prayers, but into the places you've been too afraid to pray about. So let me say this again. Not with demand, but with divine desire. I am not requiring performance. I'm requesting permission. Let me come close enough to touch what you've been hiding. Let me breathe into the wounds you've dressed so neatly, hoping no one would notice. Let me rearrange the furniture of your soul so that rest becomes your rhythm, not shame. Because when I come close, I don't come with condemnation. I come with correction that heals, with conviction that restores, with compassion that revives. You've run yourself ragged trying to do what only I can accomplish. You've tried to fix, to figure out, to fabricate the future. But all along, I've been standing at the door, not knocking with wrath, but waiting with restoration. Will you let me in now, child? Will you stop performing long enough to be loved properly? Because the next part of your life doesn't need a spotlight. It needs surrender. I am not waiting for you to get it all together. I am waiting for your yes. Even if it's broken, even if it's whispered, even if it's trembling, that's all I need. Yes, your yes. Just your open door, and I will flood in with everything your performance never could produce. Listen closely now, my child. This is not just another inspirational whisper drifting through your timeline. This isn't background noise. This isn't a gentle suggestion. This is a divine summons, a summons into clarity, a summons into your calling, a summons into a communion so rich, so real, so raw, that everything else begins to pale in comparison. I didn't call you just to comfort you. I called you to commission you to set your feet back on sacred ground, to rip the veil from your eyes, and reintroduce you to who you've always been to me. Not what the world labeled, not what pain distorted, not what religion diluted, but who I formed, who I fashioned, who I filled with my own breath. This is not just an invitation, it is an ignition. The signal has gone out from heaven's courts, and your name is on it. You have been summoned not to the bench of spectatorship, but to the front lines of divine destiny. The time of wondering is over. The time of wandering is ending. The time of witnessing has come. I am not calling you into a fog. I am calling you into clarity. The confusion that has clouded your heart is lifting even as you read this, because where I summon, I also simplify. Where I direct, I also deliver. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. You don't need to decode the future. I already wrote it. All I need is your response. Not to a vague idea, but to a living voice. My voice. And this voice is calling you into a kind of communion that cannot be interrupted by noise, cannot be diluted by doubt, cannot be contaminated by culture. I am calling you into the quiet place where you remember again what my presence feels like. Not as a concept, but as your center. I'm not just drawing you to hear me. I'm calling you to walk with me again, to abide, to receive the communion, not once a week. Not when life falls apart, but constantly. Like breath, like rhythm, like heartbeat. I want to be more than your rescue. I want to be your rhythm. And child, the calling attached to this summons is unlike anything you've expected. It's not just a title. It's not a stage. It's not a louder platform. It's deeper. It's quieter. But it will shake the foundations of your world. Because you were never meant to live on autopilot. You were born to live aware, to move in divine momentum, not mere motion. I've put answers in your hands. I've hidden blueprints in your spirit. But they can only be accessed through communion. Not religion, not performance. Communion. That sacred space where you stop trying to carry everything, and you let me carry you. You've been running from silence, fearing what it would reveal. But the silence is sacred, not scary. It's where my voice gets loudest. And I am summoning you there, not as punishment, but as preparation, because what I am building next, through your life, will not be possible without proximity. And that proximity starts now. Not with a speech, but with surrender. Not with striving, but with stillness. Do you feel me, child? Because I am. And I'm not leaving. Not until the fire that's always lived in you begins to burn again. As this summons, everything depends on it. My beloved child, let me clear the air of every shadow of guilt, every whisper of shame, every echo of condemnation that has tried to convince you that my voice arrives only to reprimand. Hear me clearly. I did not come to correct you. I came to connect with you. You've already endured enough correction from the voices around you, and too often, even from the one within you, that inner critic, sharp like a dagger, rehearses your failures as if they define your future. But I do not speak with the voice of a tyrant. I do not carry a clipboard of your wrongs. I come with arms open, not with a gavel, but with grace. I reach not to scold, but to seal the fracture between us. Not because you walked away, but because I want to draw even closer than you thought I'd dare to come. I am not on the outside knocking to punish you. I'm on the inside, whispering to you, reminding you that this whole time I've been right here, and I am contacting you now because your heart is finally tender enough, hungry enough, broken open just wide enough to feel what it always hoped for, but never fully believed it could have. Divine closeness without fear. Do you remember those nights you whispered into the darkness, asking if anyone could really know you and still stay? Do you recall those tear-soaked questions that sounded like, would you still come close if you saw the worst of me? My answer is louder now than it's ever been. Yes, I saw it. All of it, the hesitation, the backsliding, the things you hid even from yourself. And yes, I still chose closeness. I saw your shadow and stepped in anyway. I knew the thoughts you tried to silence, the fears you tried to numb, the regrets you buried beneath busyness. And still, I called you by name because I am not after your mask. I'm not drawn to your edited self. I am after the you that doesn't perform, that doesn't filter, that doesn't hide. I want the heart that longs for me even when the mouth stays silent. I want the version of you that shows up trembling, unsure, undone, because that version is the one I can wrap in revelation and resurrect with tenderness. I'm not contacting you to expose you. I'm contacting you to escort you out of isolation, out of fear, out of the barren rooms you've been living in spiritually, and into the space where my voice becomes your home. You've mistaken my silence for distance, but in reality, it was my strategy to bring your soul to stillness. The reason I'm contacting you now, urgently, directly, unmistakably, is because the veil between us has grown thin, and your heart is finally aligned with the frequency of my nearness. The connection I'm initiating now is not the kind that fades when emotions dip or circumstances shift. This is not temporary contact. This is the kind of communion you were made for. That ache you've carried, that inner yearning that never quite went away, even when you tried to numb it, distract it, dismiss it. That was your heart craving me. And now I'm here, not because you did everything right, but because I never stopped loving you, child. What I'm building between us in this moment will become the anchor for everything I'm about to release in your life. Don't pull away. Don't assume this is too good to last. I am not going anywhere. Let me prove that to you. Not with words only, but with presence. Let me make your soul my sanctuary again. Child, slow down. Listen, breathe, because I need to say something that reaches deeper than your screen, louder than your scrolling, and heavier than your habits. You've been missing me. Not because I wasn't present, but because I was showing up in ways you've trained yourself to overlook. You've been moving too quickly through the very moments I orchestrated to slow you down. Holy interruptions wrapped in stillness, sacred pauses disguised as inconveniences. I placed them like breadcrumbs on your path. That conversation you overheard that pierced your heart. That delay in your schedule that left you frustrated. That quiet moment when a tear welled up for no clear reason. Those were not random. They were not accidents. They were me. Me stepping into your ordinary with eternity. Me halting your rhythm so I could whisper reminders that get drowned out in your pace. You've been scrolling past burning bushes, brushing off divine whispers, dismissing the sacred disguise as subtle. But I am the God of the pause, the God of the pivot, the God of the precise, intentional, never random intersection. And I am speaking now, not to shame you, but to awaken you. You've mistaken convenience for confirmation. But child, I rarely speak through comfort. I often shout through silence. You keep asking for clarity, but then skip over the very interruptions I send to answer you. You're searching for signs and thunder when I've been writing direction in the stillness. I whispered when the world was loud. I pressed when you were distracted. I nudged you when the screen was in your hand and your soul was drifting. Every time you felt that ache rise up while scrolling the one that whispered, "There must be more." That was me tugging at the edge of your eternity. That ache wasn't boredom. It was the breath of the divine trying to catch your attention. And now I must speak directly. You've been moving so fast, trying to feel alive, that you've been ignoring what truly gives life. And I'm not saying this to wound you. I'm saying it to win you back. Not to performance, not to religion, but to presence, to communion, to holy awareness. That sacred awareness where even the ordinary becomes soaked in glory. Let me tell you a secret. The moments that seem the most interruptive are often the most instructive. The power I'm releasing is hiding in what you call pause. Heaven's agenda does not follow Earth's pace. I slow you not to frustrate you, but to recalibrate you. Because the direction I'm trying to give you next isn't loud. It's layered. It's detailed. It's quiet enough to be missed by the distracted. And I refuse to give revelation to a restless spirit. So yes, I'll keep interrupting your rhythm. Yes, I'll keep allowing silence to stretch longer than your comfort likes. Yes, I'll keep planting moments that demand your attention until you begin to treasure stillness again, because what I have for you can't be received in rush. It must be caught in communion. And child, it's not that I'm hiding it. It's that you've been scrolling past it, but not anymore. Because now your spirit has paused. Now your attention has shifted. And now I can speak not just to your ears, but to your destiny. The interruptions are not over, but now you will start recognizing them as the invitations they truly are. Beloved, lean in now, not just with your ears, but with your essence. Because what I am about to say cannot be filtered through fear, religion, or routine. I have been whispering in your silences for longer than you realize. I've been present in your pauses, speaking softly when your surroundings were screaming. When you lay in your bed with your mind racing and all you wanted was quiet. I wasn't withholding my voice. I was tuning you to hear it. Because my whispers aren't weak. They're weighty. They carry the kind of clarity that can't be heard in the noise of the crowd. I whispered when you were alone, not because I was hiding, but because I knew the volume of my voice would be too much for your heart if I roared all at once. So I whispered. I whispered through your worship, through a stranger's word, through the pages of scripture that suddenly glowed with relevance, through a lyric that lingered through that ache in your chest that said, "I can't stay where I've been." And now that you started to recognize me in the quiet, I am raising the volume. I stirred in your restlessness because your spirit was too anointed to stay asleep. There were things I planted inside you that had to be awakened, not with comfort, but with discomfort. The shaking you felt in your peace, the trembling in your joy, the unexplainable discontent in your normal. That wasn't failure. That was fire. It was me stirring what the world tried to sedate. Because, child, I did not design you to survive cycles. I created you to shatter them. And so I stirred. I stirred like a storm stirs the sea. Not to drown, but to direct. Not to damage, but to deliver. I shook your false security. I loosened your attachment to things I never authored. I made familiar places feel foreign because I needed you to get uncomfortable enough to listen, to slow down, to come back. And now, I'm no longer whispering. I'm no longer stirring subtly. I am speaking clearly, forcefully, urgently, without filter, without pause, without delay. Because what I need you to hear cannot be diluted anymore. There comes a point in every journey where subtlety must give way to summons, and this is that point for you. This is not gentle nudging. This is divine declaration. The time for symbolic signs has passed. The hour for bold instruction has arrived. I'm not packaging my voice in metaphor today. I'm sending it as a mantle. I'm not speaking to entertain your emotions. I'm speaking to enlist your obedience. What I say now carries weight that will shift your very atmosphere. So don't analyze this with your head. Receive it with your spirit, because I am speaking without filter, and what I am saying will require faith to receive. You asked for confirmation. This is it. You asked for clarity. I am it. I am not distant. I am not guessing. I am not offering opinions. I am delivering a divine order. And the moment you say yes to it, the heavens will respond in ways that no delay, no demon, and no doubt can stop. You've been trained in the stillness. Now, you will be activated by the shout. Now listen, child, because I'm about to tell you something that will explain the urgency pressing on your chest like a divine drumbeat. What I'm releasing into your life is not casual. It is not common. It is not indefinite. It is time-sensitive in the spirit. You felt the tightening of time, the holy pressure building in your bones, the weight of moments that seem more pregnant than ever before. That's because you've entered into a window, a sacred sovereign sealed in heaven appointment that has your name etched across it like a scroll. This isn't just a season, it's a segment of destiny. And it's fleeting like manna that melts in the sun if not gathered at the right time. Like waves that retreat if not stepped into. What I'm pouring out requires immediate response. Not fear, not frenzy, but faith. Obedient, quick-moving, doubt-defying faith. You can't wait until it's comfortable. You can't hold off until it makes sense. Because this opportunity, this divine delivery, is wrapped in urgency. What I'm about to release must be received now, not later. Accept the call, beloved. Don't hesitate. Don't consult the calendar. Don't double-check the logic. What I'm unlocking for you was prepared in advance for this exact moment. I've been aligning conversations, rerouting timelines, removing wrong voices, and recalibrating your heart to get you here. Don't let hesitation become disobedience. Don't let fear disguise itself as caution, because this call is not just for comfort. It's for commissioning. And I am about to pour out revelation release and realignment that will not be repeated in this form. This is not me threatening you. This is me warning you with love, because I see what's ahead, both the warfare and the wonder. And I'm giving you what you need to withstand it, to walk through it, to win in it. But it only activates with your yes, not a future yes. A now yes, a trembling yes, a radical yes. The yes that interrupts everything else and rearranges priorities. I don't need your perfection. I need your participation. Because this release isn't about your readiness. It's about my timing, and my timing is now. You've asked me for acceleration. You've begged me for breakthrough. But acceleration without obedience is just chaos, and breakthrough without timing is wasted. What I'm offering you in this moment is both acceleration with alignment, breakthrough with blueprint. But you must accept the call. Don't defer it. Don't delay it. This is holy. This is weighty. This is heaven knocking on the door of your destiny. So my beloved child, receive this word deep into your spirit. Let it take root. Let it transform you, and let it propel you forward into the destiny I have prepared. If this message stirred something in your heart, if you felt my presence speaking directly to you, do not stay silent. Comment below with "I receive it," or share the exact part that touched you the most. Let your testimony become a seed for someone else's breakthrough. If this word burned in your spirit, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear my voice right now. Don't let this encounter stop with you. Pass it on. I am speaking. Are you listening? Are you responding? The harvest is ready, and you are part of it. Stay close to me. I am with you always.